Bradley Walsh has been a familiar face for decades. A burst of laughter on a dull afternoon, a comforting presence during evening television, a spark of joy who seemed able to brighten the entire nation with just a grin. For many people across the UK, he isn't just a performer. He's that friend you never met, the cheerful entertainer who could lift your mood no matter how difficult the day had been. But behind the humor and the effortless energy is a real man, a husband, a father, someone who feels pressure, exhaustion, and vulnerability just like anyone else. And recently, fans were reminded of that truth in the most unexpected way. It began quietly, a few whispers, a few posts online, a question that kept popping up: why is Bradley taking a break? His supporters were used to seeing him everywhere, on television, in interviews, on sets where he brought an unstoppable energy that made even the hardest workdays feel light. So when news spread that he had stepped back from commitments, people immediately sensed something wasn't right. For someone as dedicated as Bradley, stepping away from work wasn't just unusual, it was concerning. But the person who noticed the change first wasn't the media or the fans. It was Donna, Bradley's wife, partner, and the steady presence who has supported him for decades. Those close to the family described how Donna had quietly observed the subtle shifts long before anyone else. She saw the tiredness behind the jokes, the slower steps, the moments where Bradley's usual spark dimmed for just a second. Donna had always been the one who could read him better than anyone, and in her calm, gentle way, she urged him to slow down. She reminded him that rest isn't weakness, and that even the strongest performers need to listen to their bodies. Still, Bradley did what he always does. He pushed through. He told himself he was fine. He convinced himself that the show must go on. He brushed off concerns with the same charm that made millions fall in love with him. Until the day everything changed. According to friends, the moment that forced Bradley to finally face reality was a sudden scare, something unexpected, something that shook him enough to realize he had been ignoring the signs for far too long. Though the family chose to keep the private details private, it was clear that the experience was serious enough to make him pause. What truly struck him was Donna's reaction. In a quiet moment, with all the noise of work shut out, she spoke with a fear in her voice that he rarely heard, and that was what cut through the jokes, the bravado, and the habit of pretending everything was fine. For Bradley, hearing the worry in her tone was the turning point. That was when he finally agreed to slow down, seek support, and take the break he desperately needed. Fans who have always known him as the unstoppable entertainer were stunned. Social media filled with messages, not of drama, but of love. People wrote about how much he meant to them. They shared memories of moments where his humor lifted their spirits. There was shock, yes, but also an overwhelming wave of kindness. What followed inside the Walsh household was a reminder of the quiet strength that often goes unseen. Donna stepped immediately into protective mode. Those who knew her weren't surprised. She had always been the strong one behind the scenes, balancing grace with determination. She rearranged her own plans. She made sure Bradley had space to breathe. She created a calm environment where he could rest without feeling guilty. Friends described her as the heart of the home, the one who could bring peace even during chaos, who could make a storm feel like a drizzle simply by being present. And Bradley felt it. He felt the comfort, the safety, the warmth of knowing he wasn't facing this chapter alone. What made everything even more difficult was the timing. Bradley had several major upcoming projects, opportunities that would excite any performer. But instead of celebrating what could have been a new high point in his career, he found himself confronting the weight of stepping away. He struggled with the decision more than people realized. To him, taking a break felt like disappointing fans, but Donna reminded him with gentle firmness that people cared more about him than the work he produced. She told him that the world would rather see him healthy than exhausted. And she was right. Fans responded with incredible support. They praised Donna for speaking up, for standing by his side, and for putting his well-being above everything. Many called her the quiet hero, the one who saw the signs before anyone else, the one who protected the man behind the spotlight. And beneath all the concern, something beautiful grew. Hope. Insiders shared that Bradley is now finally taking the rest he avoided for years. He's prioritizing his health, learning to slow down, and giving himself permission to breathe. Meaningful moments replaced packed schedules. Laughter replaced rushing around, and Donna remained beside him every step of the way, offering the same steady love that has carried them through decades of life together. Their bond, built on trust, humor, and a partnership that has lasted far beyond the glitz of television, became their greatest strength. They've weathered challenges before, but this chapter reminded everyone just how deeply they support each other. What fans feel now isn't just sadness or worry. It's admiration, gratitude, a collective determination to send the same joy and positivity that Bradley has given to the world for so long. This story isn't one of defeat. It's a reminder that even the most inspiring figures need rest, that behind every beloved entertainer are real people, real families, real emotions. And in Bradley's case, a wife who loves him enough to speak up, step in, and stand firm when he couldn't do it alone. As Bradley focuses on healing, not rushing, not overworking, Donna stays beside him, offering comfort, humor, and the same calm strength that first brought them together. And for fans, this is a moment to give back, to send encouragement, to celebrate the man who has made so many people smile, to appreciate the woman who stands behind him with unwavering devotion. Because for all the laughter Bradley Walsh has brought into the world, now is the time for the world to return that kindness.